And still to come later in the programme, The Sport with Laura McGhie. And a massive day for Hearts, Laura.
Yes. Well, if you've been watching St Johnstone versus Hearts last night, there was cries in the supporters. Craig Levein, we want you out. And they got their wish today. Craig Levein is no longer the manager of Hearts. He was sacked. He'll no longer be the director of football, but he is staying within the club, they say, to develop and improve the structure of backroom and youth operations. What that means, we don't quite know. However, we do know that he is gone 3 days before their League Cup semi-final against Rangers. So how important will that be? Well, I was speaking to Michael Stewart earlier on. He gave me his thoughts. That'll be later on in the Sport at 20 to 10.
We look forward to that. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
indeed, Laura.
Thank you. Now, the US House of
Islamabad.
Dreadful story. Well, time for sport now, and Laura McGhie is here. Hi, Laura.
Yes, thank you very much, Martin. Good evening. Well, Craig Levein has been sacked as manager of Hearts, with the club languishing joint bottom of the Scottish Premiership. Last night's defeat to St Johnstone was the final straw for owner Anne Budge after the club's dismal start to the season. But despite his removal from the dugout, Levein will remain at Tynecastle. Paul Barnes reports.
This was news.
Well, the former Hearts midfielder Michael Stewart, an outspoken critic of Craig Levein, has been sharing his thoughts with me.
I mean, it's a big call from the club because, you know, obviously he was somebody that was in a very influential position, not just the first team manager but a director of football, and we know that you know, he was a close confidant of Anne Budge. So it's a big call from the club, but I think, you know, realistically it was one that had to be made, and it's a long time coming.
He's not leaving the club entirely, though, for the time being. What do you make of that part of the news?
Well, I think it just goes to show you, you know, how embedded he's been at the club, and how close he is to the board members. That, you know, he's been relieved of his duties. He's been sacked, but he's not really. You know, he's been allowed to stay on in some capacity to advise or give consultancy to the executive management team and progressing the coaching and the youth structure. I mean, what does that mean? Is anybody's guess. I would imagine, I would hope that it's just a case of wanting to see down the contract and trying to give him a little bit of an easier pathway out of the club rather than just a clean break. I think that would have been the better idea, but considering everything we've just spoken about, it's a understandable route that the club have taken.
What's Craig Levein's legacy going to be from being the manager and the director of football at Hearts?
To get something out of the squad, who are definitely capable of a lot more.
Well, who's going to be that person that can get more out of that squad? Who do you think is going to be replacing him?
I mean, look, it's always
that could have saved their manager, Paul Heckingbottom's job, at least for now. At the other end of the table, Celtic and Rangers maintain their dominance at the top with comfortable wins on a busy night of Premiership action. Sir Alex Ferguson says Aberdeen's new football academy can help take the club to the highest level. The legendary Aberdeen manager was back in the city to open the club's £12 million training centre. Chairman Stuart Milne says it's a massive day in the club's history. He's also confirmed their target date for opening a new stadium has been pushed back a year to the summer of 2023. Tyrone Smith reports.
BBC News.
Glasgow City have a fight on their hands to reach the quarter-finals of the Champions League. They're in action right now against Brøndby. City took... Finally, to baseball, and last night a 95-year drought came to an end for the capital city of the USA because their baseball team, the Washington Nationals, won the World Series. It's the pinnacle of the sport in the... Just before I go, Martin, as a Hearts fan, how do you feel not only that Levein is gone, but you've got such a huge game on Sunday?
Yeah, Rangers at Hampden on Sunday. His depart. Look, Mikey Stewart's your analyst, right? He's the guy. Fingers crossed. I made a mess of that, didn't I?
Yes, well, we'll see what happens.
Emotional.
You'll be there anyway.
I'm emotional.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Cosser.